Well, 006 is in the books. We did it. We successfully brought a bunch of people together to be weird. It's always a good time when someone shows up in 8-inch heels made out of Crocs. She said she got them in China. That was interesting. Literal white heels that are Crocs. I hope they're comfortable. Don't sprain an ankle. All right. I'd like to thank so many people who have helped out throughout this Lincoln Drink series. Most recently, Cato CBD. With the plug, go to catocbd.com. Code word astronaut. Get yourself a discount. Also, Visionary Manufacturing. My boy Blake can customize anything for clothing. You want to start a clothing line? That's who you go to. Custom tags, cut and sew, which means like they can take different articles of clothing, piece them together, do whatever sort of compilation of clothing you want to piece together. They've got your answers and they can methodically put it all together for you. And this is the cool part. It's like a 6-week turnaround. You don't have to wait like 4 months to get a batch of 50 hoodies, custom hoodies you ordered. No, it's 6 weeks. Now, screen printing, it's like 2 weeks. That's not bad. Go make your selection and get it popping. Oh, you want a custom fanny pack? Yeah, they got you. Check it out. Also embroidery too. Visionary Manufacturing, Cato CBD, and then, of course, 11th Ave, Jakey Baby. I'm wearing their bracelet right now, 11th Ave. They run media, I believe. I don't know much about them. I honestly don't. I didn't even know they were one of our partners for this installment. And I know Jake from Unreal, and he's hustling. And he's trying to put on events and stuff, too. So, next up by 11th Ave, baby. Let's talk a little bit before we get this thing popping. I never really know, besides sponsors, what I'm going to say in these opening rants because things happen on a day-by-day basis. Most recently, we lost another one. We lost another human being. They took their own life. And anyone who knows me, my mission, and what I'm doing personally is bringing people together to help them be vulnerable, share their story, and not be sad anymore. To the point, we take it to the extent of bringing out world leaders in their field. Doctors, behavioral scientists, plant doctors, and Dennis McKenna, he's been on the show as well. Next week, I talk with Paul Check. He's one of the foremost human beings in pulling potential out of yourself. And he does focus on plant medicine as well. And when we talk about Cato CBD and the usage, it's the consistent usage, just like a medicine. Now, the world of psychedelia, those are things you have a singular blast-off moment, and then you come back and woof, paradigm shift in your psyche and your perception. It's different than like a daily usage product, like a CBD product. But guess what? They're all in the same family. They're all meant to reconstruct your DNA and see to it that your kids aren't fucked. And that's something really to pay attention to generationally because we're in this thing together. Notice how we name our events Lincoln Drink, where the minds meet. It's because we are trying to build a beehive that can vibrate higher and higher together. We pull each other up. It's Native American tribe conditions where the weakest link is the face of us. So let's eliminate the weakest links by building everyone up. That's what we try to do with this event series, and that's what I truly am trying to do with just my personal life. Man, auditing your circle is so important to not only your mental health, but your long-term professional wealth. It just is. Your net worth is your network. You will hear that time and time again throughout your life, as well as in this panel with Zach Chazen, Michael Shines, and our boy James Farrow. Your net worth is your network. Build each other up, nip the fat. If they're loservilles, if they aren't trying, if they don't have the same vision as you in regards of where you want to be long term, nip them. If they're a buzzkill, if they don't bring good energy into the room, let them go. And that is life. There are people we gave it our all to, where we had the utmost faith that they would get it together, and then time and time and time again, they disappoint. And then guess what? You are brought down by the effects of their buzzkill. You are brought down. It's not worth it. Audit your circle. Your net worth is your network, and continue to shine. Enjoy the show.
I'm gonna be high as a fucking man.
And now, the stationary astronaut.
All right. I'm going to open this up with a really quick speech, as I always do. My guy. All right. I haven't introduced myself in the previous events, but I wanted to open this one up and just explain what we do, who I am, and what happened, and why you guys just got blasted with all of our content in like 7 days straight. So my name is Brandon. I started a company called Social Butterfly. We're a marketing agency, and my guy. But we started this, and I said this a little bit, but we got a lot of new faces, so I want to give everyone a chance to understand why we're doing this. Nobody likes a stuffy networking event. I couldn't even get you guys to shut up, so I did my job. We wanted to get the right people in the right room, and everyone kind of knows everyone from social media, and I always come up to people and they're like, oh, I think I follow you on social media, or I think I follow you on Instagram, or it's vice versa. We just wanted to put four walls and put everyone in the same room and make sure that real connections happen. So, long story short, with the last venue, there was some miscommunication. We're sorry for all of the confusion. We're gonna work double time to make sure that it's straightforward, clear, and concise. I'm really, really excited for the people on the panel and for everyone here. I know there's a lot of first-time people on the panel, so I'm ready to get it started. I'll hand it off to Nick.
Thank you, Brandon. First things first, there are a couple companies that help make tonight possible. Obviously, 7 Sushi Steakhouse Rooftop Minneapolis. Give it up for you and the team, please. Another company that has been supportive of us and my personal company, Stationary Astronaut, from the jump. That would be Cato CBD. For all your CBD products, go to catocbd.com. Code word astronaut, get yourself 10% off. Thanks, Shroomy. Appreciate you, bro. And also, my brother from another mother, maybe the same mother, I don't know. She didn't tell me anything. Blake with Visionary Manufacturing. For all custom clothing, your cut and sew, your screen printing, go down the line. Blake at Visionary Manufacturing. The dude literally flew back from Los Angeles this morning, important meetings, just to be here tonight. So everybody give it up for Visionary Manufacturing, please. And those pretty sweet drink chips brought to you by Fingerprint. What up, Fingerprint? Where are you at, Jackson? He's around wearing some Kid Super stuff, probably. All right, let's introduce these goofballs, shall we? All right, we just converted him to a White Claw advocate. Hey, can we get number 2 up, please?
Check. Making some volume, baby.
Get number 2 up, please.
Get a little volume.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, you might have heard him from episode...
Got 11.
Huh?
11th Ave.
11th Ave?
Sponsor.
11th Ave is a sponsor.
Yes.
What do they do?
Jake, where you at? You got a speech real quick. What do you do? Because he forgot about you. Come here.
We're a production company, so what we do is kind of help artists that are at the base level get to the next level, get them with shows, get them in a comfortable studio. We also do podcasting and interviews. So any production needs you need, we are your guys.
Scale Up season, 11th Avenue. Give it up for him. Useful. All right, we got Pharaoh the Sparrow, songbird of a generation.
Yes, sir.
He's actually the first ever back-to-back winner on Dancing for the Stars that never aired. So shout out to Pharaoh.
Thank you. I got a couple moves. If I have another white claw,
Yeah,
I'll tell
dude.
you guys.
And then we got, you might have heard him on episode 145, Stationary Astronauts, the founder of Snowdafest. Post Malone babysat his kids on his tour bus, disappeared for 6 months. Zach finally navigated through and found him. Give it up for Zach Chasen, everybody.
Hello.
And then we got the original writer of Single Ladies.
Oh, yeah.
By Beyonce.
That was a good day.
People don't know, and he actually was the choreographer of the dance, and they wouldn't let him do the music video.
I'm very possessive over my dances that I design.
We got Michael Shines, everybody. Now, let's go off the cuff here.
Yeah.
What kind of dogs y'all got? Michael, let's start with you.
I have a Chinese Shar-Pei, a miniature bull terrier, and a hairless cat. And 2 horses. 2 horses.
What, dude?
Animal Kingdom. Trying to bring the peace.
And a hairless. What's your hairless cat's name?
My daughter named him Artie the Aardvark. You got to just roll with that. I mean, it is what it is.
And Zach, you got an office dog, right?
I do have a dog, yep.
Hey, can we get Zach up, number 3 up, please? What's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Byronius Jackson III.
Yo, do you call him like BJ or something?
Just Byron.
Byronius, where'd that come from?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Can we turn the gain up on 3, please? Byronius, cool. Pharaoh, I just met your dog.
You did
and took
meet
a
my
picture
dog.
with him
You
last
did.
week.
The cutest dog on Instagram.
Yeah.
I got a little Frenchie named Kenny, aka Kendrick, and he's a very cute dog. I think you guys would like him.
Kung Fu Kenny.
Can I get a little Vol?
He's so
can't hear
cute, dude.
myself.
He snores
You
when he
guys hear me?
sleeps.
Yeah? All right. I can't hear myself, but fuck it. If you guys can hear me, it's perfect.
Oh, Dr. Chasen. We've been chasing you for a minute, dog.
Here I am.
Give us a little bit about your background, the event game, possibly the first one you ever threw, headaches you've had. What's your background with throwing events?
Yeah, I mean, I started in this business about 10 years ago. A bunch of friends of mine started a rap group, and I just started managing them out of nowhere. I was working with other promoters and venues in town to get them like opening slots on the bills. And after doing that for so long, it just kind of occurred to me that I could do these shows a lot better myself. And so I just started doing it. I started booking shows. My first show I ever booked was a CD release party for my brother Eli's group at the time, Kids Like Us. Shout out Eli if you're here in the building. That was at Aqua Nightclub with DJ Abilities, Carnage the Executioner, and Toki Wright. And just didn't stop. And here we are.
Kids Like Us. I turned them on the other day. Nostalgia.
Oh, you listened to him?
Yeah, I went back. I went back. What about you, Mike? After you were the choreographer for Beyonce, where did it all begin, bro?
Well, I just got tired of being in her shadow, you know. So I figured the best way to overcome that was to become a singer-songwriter in the Midwest and play acoustic guitar at local clubs until I could grow it into something bigger, you know. And Beyonce was super understanding of that, to her credit. So.
Oh, Beyonce, gotta love the queen, right?
Yeah. What is it, the Bayhive? The Bayhive? Is that what her fans are called? I think.
Can we get some help with that one? The Bayhive.
I was right. Of course I would know that. I choreographed for her, you know.
Pharaoh, how about you, bro? Where did you get your start?
Well, I played football to start, actually. Played Division I, got hurt, and moved to San Diego. And once I got to San Diego, I did what every rapper does and you put a little studio in your bedroom, or your dorm room, or whatever it is. And then, started to go on campus and started moving, and then did some shows, signed a record deal, moved to New York City, kind of got things popping, and then the rest is history. Since then, I've just been putting music out, doing shows, and kind of keeping the grind alive.
Did you use studio foam or pillows in your closet?
I use studio foam. Yeah, I put the money up to do it right.
I mean, you're a professional, you're doing it right. Hey, you guys and girls and everything in between. Out of respect for our panelists, this is going to be quick, I promise you. And this is an opportunity for you to possibly make a connection. If we could just keep it down a little bit, because we really want to be able to hear these talented individuals we have. We worked very hard to get them. Out of respect, please just keep it down a little bit. We're all going to have our time because we're going to hit the rooftop right after this. All right, so please just keep it down a little bit so we can hear, and we'll keep it moving. All right. Had to be the bad guy for a second. I love it when that happens. Oh, Zach. We always come back to you, buddy. Just like your kids once Post Malone gave them back. Has there ever been just a crazy behind-the-scenes experience that technically you weren't supposed to tell anybody, but you're going to tell 200 people tonight? You can keep it PG-18 if you want.
I mean, I guess I had a feeling you were going to ask this, so I kind of prepared myself for it. But one story that I can tell, I suppose, is when I threw a rave at Big Island on a Tuesday afternoon, and the Water Patrol came to try to shut us down. For anybody that's been on Lake Minnetonka and knows what Big Island is, you can find it a little ironic why the Water Patrol would try to shut down a party at Big Island. But there's a DJ duo that I work very closely with called Ganja White Night, and their managers live in town here in Minneapolis, and one of their managers is a partner of mine on Snowda. So they're from Belgium, but they spend a lot of time in the United States when they tour, and specifically Minneapolis, just because their managers are here. So for the past couple of years, randomly we've thrown these pop-up events all over town, and one year we decided to do it on Lake Minnetonka, and we were worried about getting arrested because they're from overseas here on a visa, and wanted to make sure that their visas weren't taken away for doing anything illegal. So before we did this, I called the sheriff and asked what the legality is of throwing a concert on Lake Minnetonka. And they're like, well, as long as you're not selling tickets and advertising a live performance, you don't need a special events permit. So I was like, cool, awesome. We put up a poster saying Ganja White Night Meetup at Big Island. It wasn't Ganja White Night Live. It was just Ganja White Night Meetup at Big Island, and we went and rented a big pontoon and some powered speakers and a generator and backline, and put the word out 24 hours prior, and went out on a Tuesday afternoon, because it's Big Island and we didn't feel like anything would be going on a Tuesday. But a lot of people showed up. All the boat rental places all over the lake got bought out. It was there was a lot of people there. And the Water Patrol came, and they're like, you guys don't have a special event permit. You guys got to shut this down. And I was like, no, we don't, actually. We're not doing anything illegal here. And they showed me the Facebook event, and they're like, you see, you guys are advertising a concert. And I'm like, no, look at the language. It says Ganja White Night Meetup. There's no, there's no mention of live music, nothing. And they're like, well, our supervisors are here to tell you to shut it down. And I said, well, tell your supervisors that I told you we're not doing anything wrong. And we just went back and forth on their boat for like a good 10 minutes. And they took my name and address, and they're like, all right, well, if we get another complaint, we're coming to shut it down. And I was like, great, sweet. So they left, the party continued, and then a week later, I get a summons from the state of Minnesota that they are taking me to court for disturbing the peace at Big Island. Which I think is actually an accomplishment, you know, considering how much shit has gone down at Big Island. You know, getting a disturbing the peace there is kind of a nice accolade I like. But then I was in a legal debate with the state of Minnesota for like 6 months, telling them that I wasn't doing anything illegal. But then it got to a point where it was about to go to trial, and I was facing 90 days in jail if found guilty for throwing a party at Big Island. And at that point, I'm like, all right, this has been fun. Like, you're right. I give up. I'm guilty. And I had to pay $350 and continue to live my life.
You got criminal charges for bringing people together.
Yeah, you know.
Almost like what we almost went through. James Farrell.
What up?
You're so clawsome, dude.
Thank you, man.
You know, once you claw, you just can't. It just grabs on, dude.
It does.
You can't unclaw once you claw.
Can't.
It just
clawed up.
You're clawed up, dude. Describe your sound, because you're working on something big. I don't know if you're going to announce it tonight, but you're working on some new sound. So right now, describe your sound.
Wow. Describe my sound. I think that's a really tough question for any artist, just because, you know, you're pulling inspiration from so many different things and so many different people, and, you know, trips that you take and things that you see in your life. So your sound is always changing. So it's, you know, it's hard to nail down. But I'd say if I had to pick some like artists, I'd probably say if Blink-182 and Lil Uzi Vert had a love child, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
How many nose rings?
I got one nose ring.
No, would that love child have?
Oh, I mean, if I'm the love child, I have one nose ring. So one. But that's probably where my sound is at now, but it's always changing, and it always has been. I'm pulling inspiration from different artists as the time passes.
Interesting. Michael,
Yeah.
who inspires you to create music? Is it the horses, the bald cat, or your family?
The horse is in the back.
Who specifically, or like what artists out there?
Who inspires you to create music, sir?
I would say the last spiritual experience I had listening to a record was probably the 1975. I love that band, man. I love that band. It's like a modern take on 80s music. I dig their stuff. But my stuff doesn't sound like that. But now I write mostly about being a dad, being a husband, all that shit. But like before that, I wrote about what I knew, which was heartbreak, or like losing my dad and all that stuff. And so I still write about the stuff that is now, but I have to be able to access the past. I have to be able to go back in time to like, what did it feel like when my heart got broke, or what did it feel like losing? You have to still be able to access the sadness, even when you're happy, I think, in order to create good and authentic music.
Where were you at when you had that moment?
What moment?
The moment with 1975?
Oh, it was like 2 a.m. driving back from playing like a dive bar up north, and like I hated the show, and I drank some caffeine and put that, and I was just tired how everything was sounding so homogenized, like in music. Everything is being produced the same way. Most pop, like, shit, you could swap out the singers and tell me they're different singers. I can't tell you the difference because everything's being produced the same way. And I just thought this record sounded authentic. It was a new sound. Like, it used to be like Bob Dylan, Led Zeppelin, like James Taylor. Like, there were so many crazy different styles, and you could tell the style by the artist. Now, in pop music, I have a harder time doing that. So I'm really refreshed when something sounds unique because it's so rare these days.
Dr. Chazen. People don't know that this is the founder of Zombie Pub Crawl as well.
I'm actually not the founder of Zombie Pub Crawl.
Co-founder?
Nope.
Eventually latched on?
Yep.
We talked about how you like to make it weird. Can you drop any hints this year?
I mean, you're just going to have to come and see, but If you haven't been to Zombie Pub Crawl and you want to go, I suggest coming, but dress as a zombie, because if you come in plain clothes, the zombies will throw blood on you.
Kool-Aid or real blood?
Real actual blood.
Ooh.
No, not real blood.
I like it.
Fake blood.
Pharaoh, who's your biggest musical inspiration?
That's tough. Right now, I'd probably say Black Bear, probably. Just his songwriting is so incredible. The way he's able to get so raw with his music and his lyrics, and he doesn't sugarcoat the things that he's saying, and really tells you about his struggles with addiction and his heartbreak and the things that he's going through in his life. So I'd say just the fact that Black Bear's made himself so vulnerable is probably one of my biggest inspirations right now.
Do you think him and Posner, after Posner's done walking across the country, they'll link back up for mansions?
I guarantee they will.
And then Chazen will bring him to town and we can all show up?
There we go. What do you think?
Let's do this.
Closing deals, baby.
PSA today, just don't announce it. We'll do it at Big Island. It's just a meetup, though. That's all it is. It's just a meetup. Pharaoh, back to you. Feeling clawed? You good?
Yeah, I'm clawed up.
What's your favorite venue you played so far?
First Ave. No questions about it. First Ave was growing up in Minnesota, you see people like Prince, and you see their stars on the wall. I don't know if you guys walk past First Ave very often, but you see all the different stars on the wall of these artists, and it's just you pause and think for a second, I'm standing on stage at sound check, and I'm Prince was standing in this same exact spot at one moment in time, and that just blows my mind. And so just the historical relevance to my life that First Ave has definitely made that my favorite venue of all time. Absolutely.
Let's stay in the pocket with this. Zach, do you have any sweet... DJ D-Mill, who has been our DJ the last couple Lincoln drinks, told me a badass story with him and Snoop Dogg at First Avenue. It involved extracurricular activities. It was an awesome story. Zach, have you ever had an awesome story at First Avenue, backstage, main stage, out front?
Yeah, I've had several. I mean, First Ave is a great venue, and one of the coolest things about First Ave that I like is behind the stage, there's kind of a museum of set lists. So, bands, they'll write up, a set list before they go on stage and give it to everybody in the band so they know which songs they're going to play. And sometimes they leave them behind, in green rooms. Sometimes they'll leave them on stage. And First Ave has taken, some really notable set lists and plastered it behind the stage. So, obviously you have the stars out front showing, the legends who have played, but it's kind of cool going behind the stage and seeing, the handwriting of whoever is the lead singer or whoever writing out which songs they played. And I don't know, there's a lot of history in that building, and I feel very grateful to have been able to produce shows out of there.
That was some badass history. If the people in the back that could have been tuning in, listening to that historical context regarding the historical building right behind this one, Mikey Shines, do you have any awesome memories from First Avenue?
Man, I've only done the little club so far. That's the goal. I did varsity, and so my thought was, because we almost sold out varsity, and so this year I might try to link on with somebody at the same kind of following level, and then if you do the math, we could sell out the main room. But I only did 7th Street Entry a couple years ago with Howie Day. Remember Howie Day? He had quite the rise, and then now he doesn't meet any of his fans after the show, and he doesn't Like, he'll show up 5 minutes before he has to go on, and he's not a happy dude anymore, but he's still a nice guy, but he's like over the situation. So I did 7th Street entry with Howie Day, you know, so there you go.
Did you go to the depot and get some tater tots
Dude,
afterwards?
so many tots,
All
man.
the tots, dude?
So, we got so messed up on tots.
Did you pocket them?
Oh my God, yeah, dude. If I was getting too sober on stage, I'd just pop a couple tots. And then I accidentally sang Collide before he came out. You know, it was terrible.
You ruined it.
Too many tots, man.
Damn, dude. What else was he going to play if you played his only song?
I know, he was pissed. He was
Son
pissed.
of a salamander.
Yeah.
You want to
Exactly
say
what I
something?
said.
Guys, hold up. You know, when people pay money to come to see something, it's very disrespectful to speak in the back. I'm telling you, you guys have time to network. People are trying to get true value out of this, and we have incredible people that we somehow got on our panel to give you guys value. So out of respect, seriously, a couple more minutes, let it ride out, let us hear their story, let it happen.
We're so close to the finish line. That's where Billie Eilish plays. So you're a bad guy, sipping in my... Brandon. Oh, Chazen, dude. I'm just going to keep bugging you, dude. Oh, I'm just going to keep bugging ya. So, do you have zip lines at Snowdafest?
Do I have what?
Zip lines?
No.
No zip lines?
No zip
You gonna have
lines.
any zip lines this year?
Never had a zip line.
Can you spill any beans?
Nope.
None at all.
Nope.
Okay, then. We'll flip the script. What was your favorite experience from a Snowdafest you've thrown prior?
When Post Malone finally gave me my kids back. No, I'm just kidding. Post Malone never babysat my kids. But
He's lying. He's lying.
my son did meet Post at Snowda a couple years ago and asked my son what his favorite song was, and he said Rockstar, and, you know, next thing I know, Post is on stage dedicating Rockstar to my son Jackson. Yeah, it was a pretty cool experience, and somebody got it on video, so I have a video of Post Malone dedicating Rockstar to my son, and I'm very happy to have that in my possession.
Yeah, if you want to hear that literal happening, you can go to our most recent podcast on Stationary Astronaut iTunes. You can literally hear it. I started off the podcast with that. He had the audio, so that was pretty badass. And you can actually hear the in-depth story. Go check out our Instagram, too. Mikey Shines, baby.
Yeah, buddy, I'm here for you.
We're going to go off the cuff. How long have you owned horses?
How long have I owned horses?
Yeah, I'm setting you up for a following question.
Okay. Man, that was like the biggest source of contention early in our marriage because I was a struggling singer-songwriter trying to support a wife that loves to ride horses, which is the most expensive hobby you could ever have in your life. And so we got married 5 years ago. So I probably owned horses for 4 years now, and it only gets more expensive, but luckily I'm making a couple more dollars now, so about 4 years, yeah. I don't really get to experience them. I bought a horse that I haven't even met yet, like 2 years ago, so.
Are you pushing towards a hobby farm or something?
I should probably, well, I think the dream scenario is get out in the middle of nowhere with a recording studio and a horse barn and just get the hell out of here, you know. I love being in the middle of the city and accessing it, but then I like getting the hell out after.
Find your zen, baby boy.
That's right.
All right, we're going to open it up for some questions. Who's got some questions for our panelists? Anybody? Who came here just for these guys? The girl in the back waving her hand. That was an explosive hand raise. Do you want to come up here and ask these guys a question? Come on. Come here. Okay, so I'm going to kick it off with what's your name and what's your Instagram handle?
Ooh, never been asked that before. My name's Mickey Spear, and that's my Instagram handle. Actually, _songwriter, which is why I'm here. The big question I had for you guys is, how did you go from this thing that I love to do in my bedroom to like, I'm going to be a performer beyond open mics? So like, that next step.
You guys mind if I jump in on this one first?
Mickey Spear, everybody.
So, being an artist, give it up for her, my bad. So, being an artist, I started in the bedroom, started off just singing for my friends, providing music for, my little pre-games or whatever it is, right? The best thing that I ever did that took me from, just making music on my own for just my small network of friends was connecting with a team. Finding a team of people that believe in you, whether it's, you find a manager, you find publicists, you find booking agents, you find people that can run your media and your brand, whatever it is, you need to find talented people that believe in what you're doing, and that'll be the number one thing that launches you to the next step. Absolutely. It takes a village. It's so hard to do it by yourself. Almost impossible. I'm sure someone's done it in history, but it takes a fucking village. So find a team. That's the best thing you can ever do.
You got a follow-up for that, Mike?
Yeah, man. For me, the only thing that ever worked was taking every single possible gig that I could for any amount of money that anybody would pay me, and then that was my value at the time. So I used to play a residency in St. Cloud at the Tavern. On Wednesday nights, I'd play for 4 hours for $50 on a bar tab. And I would just play anything and everything. And then I was like, okay, my value's $50. And then when I started booking a bunch of gigs where people paid me $100, I'm like, that's my value now. And just letting the $50 gigs go by the wayside when I was booking for $100, and then just building to the point where, then now we're in the thousands of dollars, and then you don't take anything less than that. And then I just kind of let the market determine my value, and I just wanted to work my ass off. And so those two things coming together worked out, yeah.
Powerful knowledge right there. Thank you, Mickey. We got anyone else? Got a brain buster? Step on up, baby boy. What's your name? What's your Instagram handle?
I'm Luke Ziesmer. They call me Z's. And my question is, how important was networking for you guys when you were starting out?
I didn't pay him to ask that, I promise. You didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very cliche saying, but, it's all about who you know. I don't know where I heard this, but I was told your net worth is valued by your network. And it took for me moving to Los Angeles to really fully understand that you can accomplish absolutely anything if you are connected to people. It's, I'm not saying you can't accomplish anything not being connected to people, but your chances for success are greatly improved if you have a large network and if people like you. So you just need to figure out how to make a lot of friends and have people like you, and you can probably get whatever you need.
Perfect. And just to add on to that too, is you're not going to build a network by sitting in your house or your apartment or your dorm room or wherever it is that you reside. You have to get out into the world, shake some hands, smile in some faces, and make new friends. And you never know who's friends with who and whatnot, but you got to get out in the world and say yes to people that want to do something with you. Maybe you meet somebody and they're like, hey, let's go grab a coffee, but you don't drink coffee, and you still say yes. Just go meet people, get out in the world. Everyone that came here tonight, it shows me that you want to build your network, you want to meet like-minded people, you want to be successful in your respective fields. So get out, meet new people, say yes to new things, and your network's going to grow exponentially, I promise you.
Yeah. That's totally true. Yeah, do not hone your craft in your basement. Get out on a stage. I think networking for me was important, but it also wasn't important because if I would have believed or gotten every promise that I gotten for people drunk at a bar, I'd be a millionaire by now. So I think the most valuable thing that getting out and networking taught me is that most people are full of shit, and you get better at realizing who's full of shit and who's not by networking and talking to more people and experiencing the people that actually can help you. They're usually a little bit more quiet than the ones that are promising you everything and don't shut up for like 2 hours straight. Those are usually the ones like trying to, I don't know, compensate for something, I guess is what I would say.
That's great advice.
Gold. There's a lot of bullshit artists out there. Yo, hi James.
What up, boo?
Hi, baby boy.
What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? All right, you were here first. This is literally our girl in the red hat. You were literally here first tonight. Step on up to the plate. What's your name and what's your Instagram handle?
Hey guys, my name is Bree Flash. Also my Instagram at Bree Flash, FLASCH. Self promo.
Are those high top Crocs?
Yeah, there's like a Balenciaga version of these. They're like $1,000, but I just got back from living in China, so these were $10 straight from the Balenciaga factory. Maybe 15. Thanks, guys. Check out my Instagram for more knockoffs and reps. Nothing real here. But yeah. Anyway, my question is, I was wondering if you guys feel like you've sacrificed your own like personal style and like what you want to do with like your dreams or your music or your life, family, like whatever, I guess, to do where you're at.
You guys want to jump in?
Our own personal style, like meaning our style.
Can we get some clarity on the question?
So do you mean like stylistically, like did we sacrifice like what we wanted to have in terms of a sound, or like in terms of like life things, like?
Like both, I guess.
Okay. You know, you got
I'll go. I mean, yeah, I've been doing this 10 years, and for the first part of that, I was very unsuccessful, you know, and if you measure success by income, I didn't make any money, and I did everything I could do to keep doing my passion. You know, I lost a lot of money at the beginning of my career. You know, I kind of look at it now as, you know, I didn't go to college, so all the money that I lost is kind of like my college tuition, so to speak, you know, or, you know, I justify it by saying, you know, it was an investment to my career. But yeah, I mean, you know, with promoters and musicians and really any entrepreneur that wants to start a business, I mean, there comes an immense amount of sacrifice. You know, me personally, I'm never not working, you know, 24 hours a day. You know, even when I'm sleeping, like, I'll find myself dreaming about shit that I got going on. And that takes a toll on, you know, relationships and different things. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely sacrificed a lot, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm able to do what I love to do, and you know, so it's definitely a double-edged sword, but yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
That's right.
Sacrifice. One more question. Step on up to the plate. What's your name? What's your Instagram handle?
My name's Norman. My Instagram handle is CWright Says, SCAWRIGHT, my last name, Says. My question for you guys is about imposter syndrome. When you start out doing what you're doing, betting on yourself, a lot of times you come to a point where you might find yourself some self-doubt. Now, how do you keep that at bay, especially as you get further and further on pursuing your goals and dreams?
Dude, fake it till you make it, 100%. Just act as if, you know. Me personally, you know, perception is reality. If you put out something, you know, I don't know, just fucking fake that shit till you make it, because, you know, I came out the gate swinging, you know, with concerts, and the way I promoted my company was, you know, I promoted it as it was a lot bigger than it was, and I promoted my events like they were the biggest thing on the face of the planet, you know, and I was, you know, 20 years old. Obviously, I didn't know what I know now, but I don't know. Just, yeah, fake it till you make it, man. Just, yeah.
So if I could jump in real quick, I actually hate the phrase "fake it till you make it." Lived by experience, right? I've done the "fake it till you make it" thing. I've made music where I'm pandering to an audience that doesn't give a shit about what I'm making anyways. You know, I dressed a certain way. I've done different shows that I didn't feel like comfortable with, just in hopes of capturing people that never gave a shit about me in the beginning. So the fake it till you make it thing, I've lived it, and I think it's horrible. What I would say is do what's true to you, whatever your art is, whatever your business is. Be genuine to yourself, but brand it correctly. That's the thing that sets you apart. Do what's true to you, dress how you want, make the music you want, run the company that you want, but just brand it correctly so then the audience looks at it and go, wow, that looks great, that looks official, that looks amazing. That's what's gonna set you apart. But the fake it till you make it shit is dead. That's all I gotta say.
It worked for me.
To play devil's advocate, we're all a bunch of bullshitters going through this thing called life. We might do things right, we might do things wrong. There is a happy medium to what these guys are talking about, just to be clear.
Yeah, I would say I fall somewhere in the middle of that spectrum. I think when you're starting to make music, you're going to suck right away. And you almost have to emulate your heroes until you put in your 10,000 hours and you figure out what your sound is. There was a great quote, it's actually a John Mayer quote. I know people are pretty split on how they feel about him, but he said, "It is in my failure to sound like my heroes that enables me to sound like myself." And that's one of the greatest quotes I'd ever heard.
Say it one more time.
It is in my failure to sound like my heroes that I'm able to sound like myself. And so I spent the first probably 5,000 of my 10,000 hours trying to sing like a guy who's from Minneapolis area. Kevin Truckenmiller of Quiet Drive was the best live singer I'd ever heard. And so I was like, I want to sing like him. And then I realized I don't have his vocal range. My tone doesn't sound like his. And then one day I woke up and I was like, oh my God, this is what I sound like when I'm not trying to sound like everybody else. So I will agree with both. I think you kind of have to fake it until you make it to some degree if you want to make money and put some food on the table at times. But then also, once you don't have to fake it anymore, I agree. Let your live and die by what you want to put out there into the world, and roll the dice when you have that luxury to do so.
And if you ever have to sell your soul, just make sure you find it before you're dead and gone. I appreciate all. Oh, he's got a question.
My name is Bayo Ido, Instagram Bayo Raps, Bayo Raps.
Are you gonna hit us with something?
I could if you guys really want that.
Seize the moment. Seize the moment.
All right. This is a new one I just recorded the other day, but it's like, I've been working all day, 8:15, and I still haven't ate. I'm trying to get it all, man. I'm getting better, you can bet it, man. I'm handling my own. I got that Holy Ghost. Keep me focused, open to be shown the ropes, and then I take mine. And when I'm low with hope, I take an oath to growth, and then I know for sure that I'ma stay fine. Mama, I've been stressed out. Damn, mama, I've been stressed out. And I don't know what's happening, but this rapping shit is clicked, and I think I can get rich. I just gotta keep my grind, take one day at a time, and real soon we gonna be fine. Promise I ain't lying. I remember as a kid dreaming about if one day I made it rapping. Now that doesn't seem so far. I remember when they were laughing, that ain't happening. Yeah, I think they like me. No, I know they like me. Probably wanna sign me, but these writings too pricey. Yeah. I'ma need the highest bid, and still probably ain't signing shit. Yeah. That don't even sound legit. Like I would really sign over my income for the next 10 years just to take this little bread because it's sitting right here? Nah, that ain't me. You got the wrong dude. I can't go out like that. I'm gonna let this little foundation and let it stack, something like that.
Hey!
Wow.
Hey, you can't replay that. You cannot replay that. All right, guys. Now we're going to go up to the rooftop. You can go right up these stairs, up to the top. We got the backdrop. We got another red carpet. There's a private bar. Now you can talk and connect. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Woo!